September is packed with digital VOD releases. There's gonna be something for everyone. Non-stop horror thriller. But there's also other exciting things happening this September, such as today's sponsor, a Night of Horror International Film Festival, which takes place in Dendy Cinemas, Newtown, Sydney, from Thursday, September the 28th to Sunday, October the 1st. The program is packed. You're gonna want to check it out. It's all linked below. My top picks from the program include Mother Superior, which is described as Suspiria, the Witch, and Hereditary by Horror Society. And the other one I'm really curious about is called Pensive. This is a horror thriller about classmates who destroy a life-sized folk art statue and pay a deadly price. You can purchase tickets from $20 or $15 for members from the Dendy Newtown Candy Bar or online. There's also a great value 10 session pass if you're a horror fanatic. Check out the full detailed program down below in the description. All of the links are there. If you're in Sydney, this is the best way to get started for the spooky season. Make sure to drop by and support independent, local, and international horror. Now let's get into what you can watch online. A great start to the month, All Fun and Games is released on VOD from the 1st of September. This horror thriller is about a group of Salem teens that discover a cursed knife that unleashes evil forces, making them play a deadly game. But in this game, there are no winners, only survivors. The movie has a wild cast from Annabeth Grish to Natalia Dyer. This has been at the top of my most anticipated list, and it's going for full scares. The trailer has some really interesting fly-through POVs that really replicate Sam Raimi's distinctive Evil Dead shots. I'm interested to see how this one turns out. Let's check it out from the first. Jennifer Reeder of Knives and Skin is back with Perpetrator, a horror that features Alicia Silverstone. The movie is about Johnny, who is a reckless teen sent to live with her estranged aunt. But as the clock ticks over to her 18th birthday, she experiences a radical metamorphosis. And then to add to that, when several teens go missing at her new school, she takes a keen interest. This plot looks thick, but the trailer really sells it as a dark, offbeat journey. This is a Shudder original and will be released in most countries on the 1st. King on Screen is a horror-based documentary about the adaptation of Stephen King books. Since the release of Carrie, more than 50 directors have taken on King's stories. There are more than 80 films and series based on his work, making him now the author with the most adaptations still alive. The film features horror icons such as Mike Flanagan talking about their love for his stories and the challenge of making it fit for screen. This was released in select cinemas at the start of August, but will be available on Blu-ray and demand from the 8th. Lakeith Stanfield stars in new drama fantasy horror series The Changeling, which drops on Apple Plus this month. It's based on the novel of the same name by Victor Lavallee. Set in an alternate New York City, the show is about a father who searches through a magical world for his abducted son and missing wife. The show hits Apple Plus on the 8th with the first 3 episodes. The remaining 5 will roll out each week afterwards. Okay, this next one is a bit of a trip. Stick with me. It's totally wild, and I really mean that. Good Boy is a bizarre Norwegian horror thriller about Christian who meets Sigrid on a dating app. They hit it off quickly, but there's only one problem. Christian lives with Frank, a man who dresses up and consistently acts like a dog. Now, Sigrid is forced to go along with Frank's way of life, no matter how weird or dark it becomes. If you like bizarre horror movies that push the boundaries, this one is for you. Good Boy, also known as Me, You and Frank, will be released on VOD platforms from the 8th in the US and from the 11th in the UK. Walking Dead may well be dead, but Daryl isn't. Welcome to the newest spin-off series from the Walking Dead franchise, The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon. We follow Daryl's journey across a broken but resilient France as he hopes to find his way back home. Season 1 starts on September the 10th and comes out each week, with the last episode, episode 6, planned for October the 15th. 15th. And guess what? Season 2 is already in the works. My apologies, last month I talked about Elevator Game, which Shudder then promptly pushed back a month. The supernatural horror is based on the online phenomenon of the same name, in which players attempt to travel to another dimension using a set of rules. I've done a whole breakdown on how this game works with a spoiler-free review of the film if you want to check it out. It will finally hit Shudder on the 15th. The mysterious Chilean Netflix film El Conde finally has a release date. The comedy fantasy horror centers on Augusto Pinochet, who is not dead but an aged vampire. After living 250 years in this world, he has decided it is time to die for once and for all. This is very much an offbeat, fantastical ride, giving lore to a new type of vampire with a little bit of history shoved in there. Things are about to get bloody on Netflix from the 15th of September. My Animal is a 2023 Canadian supernatural horror romance film. The movie follows a woman who is forced by her overbearing parents to keep her illness a secret. The director has described the movie as a story about love and how it can be the catalyst for radical change. The movie will be released in select cinemas from the 8th and then on digital rental platforms from September the 15th. It's happening. It's all happening. American Horror Story is back for their strangest concoction yet, starring Emma Roberts, Clara Delevingne, and Kim Kardashian. I never thought I'd say her name in any of my videos. The 12th season is called Delicate and is based on Danielle Valentine's book, Delicate Condition. The book is the story about a woman who is desperate to become pregnant, but starts to believe those around her are playing a sick game, trying to prevent her dream from coming true. There are a lot of links from the book to Rosemary's Baby, so it'll be interesting to see what the series takes from the source material. The series is split into 2 halves, with the first half starting on the 20th. The show premieres on FX and then will stream on Hulu the next day. I am so keen for No One Will Save You, which is also heading to Hulu this month. This one does not have a trailer yet, but it's very intriguing. This is the first image we've got from it. It is directed by Brian Duffield, who directed Spontaneous and has written copious amounts of screenplays from Underwater to The Babysitter. The film stars Caitlin Dever as Bryn, an anxiety-ridden homebody who must battle with an entity that is terrorizing her home. This sci-fi horror thrillers trailer should drop very soon, so keep your eyes peeled. I can't wait to watch this one later in the month. Netflix thriller Nowhere tells the story of Mia, a pregnant woman who escapes from her country that is devastated by overpopulation and lack of resources. But on her flight, a storm throws the container she is traveling in into the sea. And from there, she begins the struggle to survive. The Spanish film displays a raw, terror-filled fight, and it hits Netflix on the 29th. Fans of religious horror get double the Nun content this month. Not only is The Nun 2 coming to cinemas, Deliver Us is a movie about a nun at a remote convent who claims immaculate conception. The Vatican then sends a team of priests to investigate, as they have concerned about an ancient prophecy that states that if she gives birth to twins, one may be the second coming of Christ, and the other one may be the Antichrist. So pretty high stakes in this one. Deliver Us will be released in limited theaters and on VOD from September the 29th. If you're a fan of religious horror, you may also be interested to hear about this story. It is the breakdown of the true story behind the Pope's exorcist, and let me tell you, it is not what it seems, especially when a real-life exorcist spilled the tea. I have all the information in this video. Thanks for watching. Stay spooky.